Hello everybody, Sparkster1701 here, and today I'm going to take a look at a Transformer subgroup that we've shown in at least one example, but we've never really covered. Specifically, this guy has appeared before, so I figured now'd be a good time to review him. We are taking a look at the Target Master Ground Assault Unit Quake. Now, Quake here is a Decepticon, and he was available in 1988 as part of the second wave of Target Masters. He would also be discontinued in 1989, and we would not get a replacement for him. Now, he differs from the original Target Masters that appeared in 1987 in a few ways. The original Target Masters were done up as larger figures, so they were available in box. Quake and the others that were released the following year in '88 were smaller and were thus available on card. To offset this, instead of coming with one gun like their larger brethren did, they came with two guns. As an added bonus for that, according to the way the lore is written, and the added feature that these toys do have with them, is that, given the simple nature of the two guns, you can easily fold up the barrels on one of them and then plug it into the backside of the other one, and then now the special effects that this gun would have are now amplified by having this one attached to it. Of course, you can also, if you so choose, reverse it and go this route. Same thing, different effect. We'll just leave it in the super form because out of all the 6 small Target Masters, Quake is fortunate enough that he has an extra gun, so he's the only Target Master with 3 guns. Only one of them, though, however, is not a sentient life form in a battle suit. We'll take a look now at Quake's articulation, and surprisingly, even though this was getting late in the line, and articulation was being sacrificed a lot in the Transformer line, he does have a fair amount going for him. His arms do rotate at the shoulder all the way around, plus due to the way he's designed to transform, he can lean them back a bit at the shoulders, so you can get him to do some dual firing. The head, unfortunately, does not rotate, so it does not go well with that. It does have a joint at the wrist, so you can simulate for some punching or whatever. And he does have a joint here at the hip that does allow for the legs to bend out a bit, so you can do some funky-looking kicks with it. And what do you know, folks? He does stand like that, too, thanks to those wide feet. And for added bonus, there's even a joint in the ankle, but that's more for transforming him than anything else. Get him to stop looking that silly there. Okay, moving right along, let's transform him. We'll start by taking all of his guns away from him. Give me your guns. Doo-doo. Alright. To transform him, we'll raise his arms up so he's pointing them at us. Then we take his hands and fold them inside his arms. Then we'll rotate the arms fully upwards to a nice surrender look, and then fold them backwards behind him and snap them together. And we're going to pick him up. You fold his feet inside him. Then you'll grab his legs and fold them all the way around and up behind his head and snap them into place. and then lay it down there. Then you can attach any one of the guns into the front here. We'll do this, the non-sentient one, since that's the standard. And that's his alternate mode, a Leopard A1 battle tank. While he's a nice rugged design for it, the fact that his arms are locked into position as they are for the tank turret means that the turret itself does not turn, so that's a downside. But the little metal wheels that he's on do roll pretty good for him. As we also said, any of the guns can be attached into the front. We'll stick in this one here. Not a bad look. Or if we want, we'll stick this one in for a little double-barreled action. We'll put this one back in here. We'll combine the two guns together. Mount them back here on the back, and there you go. We got some seriously impressive firepower going here with him, folks. I mean, out of all the target masters, big or small, Quake here is really packing on the firepower. As he's about the only one that's, with the way he's designed, not only does he have a non-sentient gun in the front, but he's got an extra turret gun that can be supercharged at the same time. So we're talking some seriously heavy firepower going on here. Let's take a quick look at Quake's loose parts, and as would be expected of a target master, all of his loose parts are basically, in effect, his guns. We'll start with one that isn't a target master itself. This is the turret gun. It is also effectively known as a plasma cannon. The only real downside to it is all the notching here in the back. That's sort of unnecessary back here to mount it on him, but otherwise it's kind of gets the job done. Then we'll move on. We'll show you his two associates. Starting with this one here. This is Tip Top. According to the lore, Tip Top was a former circus strongman who later tried to make a living with selling a fitness and diet program that made him pretty famous on Nebulon until it was revealed that both were his exercise program that built up his muscles was more or less done by chemicals like steroids and such, and his diet was actually ineffective and very dangerous. Pardon me. So he joined up with the Decepticons to get back at the people that wronged him, and thus try to rebuild his fortune. He's the bigger of the two guns. Just got a single barrel here, and all it does is fold out like that. That's how you transform it. And then next and lastly, we have the other one, Heater. Now, Heater here is basically your smart-mouthed punk that doesn't really like to do any work. Case in point, he just slipped out of my hand and went down on the floor. I guess he's also trying for the circus to do a disappearing act. Now, he is black in color, folks, so he's a little hard to see in the light, but you can kind of get the gist of him. And he's the double-barreled weapon. Same method to transform him, just fold it out on the backside, and there you go. And that covers Quake's loose pieces. Moving right along with Quake, I do have his card backer. So you can see it was a time when they were still doing some impressive card backers. I mean, this is some rather nice artwork of Quake. And right here it shows off the feature of the two guns to merge them into a double weapon. And down here in this orange square, this would be where the guns were actually stored in their humanoid-shaped figures. And right here would be the tank. Turn it over here to the back side. They just kept the upper portion mainly for the logo while it was still in use. Over here on this side, they had the robot points. He was worth 1 point. And you get a nice bit of instructions. Now, while they list Quake here as the tank, they do not list the plasma cannon as one of the pieces. So bear that in mind if you go looking for loose ones. Over here, they show you how to transform the two guns. And then to show a version of putting him as an attack tank, where you just split the two weapons in between, putting one in place of the plasma cannon and then mounting the other one on the turret, which is okay, that's a way to do it, but since he comes with a cannon that he can control more than the other two, one would imagine he would keep that one available so that he at least can ensure that there's one that will always go when he wants. That's the thing with the target masters in the lore, folks. The guns themselves supposedly are capable of also firing by themselves. Supposedly this makes them more accurate to some degree, or at least that you have a partner that's that's just as capable of taking the shot as you are. So your accuracy and whatnot is kind of also affected by the mood and whatnot that your weapon companion is. One of the old Marvel comics depicted Hot Rod having his target master buddy killed in battle, and he had a fair amount of difficulty adjusting back to a non-sentient weapon. It's an interesting story, one I would definitely recommend to Transformer fans to try to seek out and read. Getting back into here, see how to transform Quake from the tank to the robot. And then down here they show you the basics on how to merge the two of them together. They go to the default of putting Tip Top as the rifle and Heater in the back, which, as I showed you, you can go either way, whichever way you like, or whichever way the mood set the events at the time would change, because both guns fire different ammunition. And then you get here to see the sticker applications. And then down here at the bottom you get a big size tech spec for a small toy. It's done up in purple all around to show he's a Decepticon. It's got a picture of him that matches the front of the package. It gives his name as Quake, and it lists his function as Ground Assault. His motto is, "Nothing lasts forever, so why not destroy it now?" A destructive berserker, attacks everyone and everything with a vengeance. Doesn't stop shooting until everything is in ruins. Capable of leveling an entire Autobot installation in minutes. Titanium-based treads are equipped with special adhesives that enables Quake to climb sheer cliff surfaces. Known for his somewhat off-the-wall battle tactics. Seriously, who didn't see that coming? Teamed with Tip Top, a former circus strongman who transforms into a balance-altering, gyroscopic destabilizing weapon, and Heater, a smart aleck street punk who transforms into a double photon pistol, equipped with plasma cannon in tank mode. So now we'll place the decoder over the grid and we'll take a look at his stats. It lists his strength as 8, his intelligence is 4, his speed is 3, his endurance is 9, his rank is 5, his courage and firepower are 9, and his skill is 6. So he's pretty tough and courageous in battle, but very slow, very stupid, and basically only average as a fighter. So now we'll get down to, what do I think of Quake? Well, Quake was my first small target master, so I'm going to obviously be a little bit biased towards him, but I do like Quake. The lore, especially the More Than Meets the Eye guides, does talk about him being on the dumb side, as the tech specs do verify. He is the off-the-wall battle tactics does talk about in the lore by being said that he improvises strategies in battle. So he's able to come up with some rather inventive and, in some cases, truly bizarre combat style attacks, such as, since his tank treads allow him to drive up various surfaces, he can drive himself into a position that most others would not dream that a tank, of all things, would turn up there. The only problem with these battle tactics that he comes up with is that they're very short-sighted. Oftentimes, his targets have moved position, or he gets himself confused in the melee and finds himself shooting at his comrades instead of the Autobots. So it's kind of, we'll give him an A for effort for coming up with something ingenious and totally bizarre that most other commanders wouldn't think of, but we're probably going to have to give him a C- on his effort due to the fact that he's just as prone to shoot his allies as much as the Autobots he was trying to go after. So basically, he becomes another one of the bumbling idiots that the Decepticons always seem to be recruiting in their ranks. And while this is a tried and true cliche that does, at this point, especially in the line, get rather old and extremely boring, I still like Quake. I think that he is a middle-tier character. Just due to the fact that at least he is inventive in his battle tactics, so he does deserve some praise for it. Even though they backfire, hey, give the guy some credit, at least he's coming up with something different. And the Target Master gimmick that was done for the smaller ones, I kind of like better over the larger ones. As at least in this case, while dual weapon firing action has long been proven to be very ineffective in terms of actual battle, the ability to combine the two of them into a special rifle that enhances the powers that the one has at the moment does leave open some very interesting battle tactics. And one final note on availability for Quake and his comrades, surprisingly enough, Quake here and the other 5 small target masters were not sold in Japan. So, something to think about, or wonder if they had some reason for not selling them. And that concludes my review of the 1988 Decepticon Ground Assault Quake. If you liked the video, please thumbs up it here on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button down below. Like and share a comment on this video to help keep this channel going. This is Sparkster1701 saying I will catch you all later.